Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Red Flag the Game. That being Echo Leo's Root. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that made this game and are making others, you can go to their Patreon. $3 a month. So, on the last Let's Play, we went to the library. Found out what Clint told us was kind of right, that there was a guy that got his legs cut off and jumped out a window. And then we were driving along, and Leo took us to the old, was it football place in Peyton? On a whim. We chatted a bit. We're nostalgic. He asked if I would choose between life in a different city or him. We chose him. He was very happy. And we had some sex. Not sure if it was full on sex or just frothing. But anyways. And then while he was in the shower, we did the thing that isn't a red flag in and of itself, which is look at his phone. Because there was a thing where Flynn was like, whoa, go fuck yourself as well. And we were like, okay. And I was like, well, I sniffed Coach Devin's thing in his route. So we're going to check up on what Leo was talking about. At which point it was like, Flynn was like, you're just trying to get into Chase's pants. And I'm like, yeah, that's completely fine. And he just says that. And then there was a part where it was like we were busy with being at the library and stuff. And it's like, oh, yeah, well, there's a project to do. But then there was a bunch of other things. We're looking at everybody's conversations and Leo's going, yeah, Chase is busy, so he can't do that. Chase is sad, so he can't do that. And Jenna's like, are you all right? Are you angry with me? Because you're not really replying. It's basically just Leo going, hey, Chase can do that stuff later. He's just busy or something. It's like, okay, lots of red flags. Woof. And that's why our main character is in the state he's in. So let's reset our face. And start. I sit on hard, uneven ground, shivering as I try to cover myself up with the blanket. My eyes are just enough for me to realize that I'm outside somewhere, looking through the branches of dead trees to so many stars above me. Aside from the calls of a few birds, it's completely silent. I stare at the sky above me for a while, wishing that it wasn't so cold so I could get back to sleep. Where am I? The slight confusion I feel is mixed with the apathy of just waking up from it is a familiar feeling. I can remember when my parents forced me into Boy Scouts 10 years ago. I hated it so much, especially the camping. I could never fall asleep, and when I finally did it would be marred by me tossing and turning, waking up confusion as to where I was. Thank goodness I never did Boy Scouts, especially because of the child diddling, but in general as well. I sat up straight in the tent, looking around me for up to 10 minutes, wondering why I was in complete darkness and sitting in a sleeping bag. Except now there's no tent or sleeping bag. My mind works slowly, like it's drenched in molasses, and I knead the ground with my fingers, digging them into dead vegetation and soil. And then finally, I break the barrier to lucidity, and I realize what's happening to me is real. I'm outside. I look left and right and see that I'm surrounded by trees or bushes. The smell of sagebrush and dirt fills my nostrils as I instantly get to my feet. My limbs and flesh are numb from the cold, and I rub my hands up and down my arms, trying to find some warmth. Did I sleepwalk? I must have, unless Leo took me out here for some reason. Or someone else did? I shiver. There's not much else I can do except walk forward. Ahead of me looks like the branches clear out into more darkness. I hope that I'm just behind Leo's house, where I know there are some bushes and trees. Either way, I can't be far from the house. So I start walking, reaching out blindly to move past sharp branches and prickly bushes. The pain isn't that bad. Not nearly as bad as you'd think it'd be. I look back behind me, staring hard into the dark blackness. I can't see anything beyond the branches right in front of me, which gives me the impression of gnarled teeth in from the dark, endless mouth of a dark. Quickly I turn back around and push through the dead vegetation in front of me, trying not to panic. But I knew I was dead the moment I looked down. A branch scrapes across my cheek, and another stabs me hard in the hip as I run right into it. Two stumps, gushing blood, splashing the wheels of the train and rails. I finally break out into the open. I can see more stars above me, but the complete lack of moon makes almost everything around me possible to see. I can at least tell that it's a huge clearing, but no matter how hard I squint, I can't see ahead of me. It has to be a dream. Tentatively, I start walking forward, looking left and right, for any signs of lights that might help guide me back to town. I can feel a worrying seed of panic starting up in my chest, and I worry it's going to explode out of me at any second. The last thing I need is me running through the night, screaming my head off. Pretty soon, I become aware of what looks like a large block in front of me. Again, I reach out my hands, walking slower as I approach whatever it is in front of me. They press up against something rough, hard, and cold. Whatever it is, it's made up of some type of metal. It feels broken, rusted, so I assume it's cold. Was it a warehouse of some kind? Wasn't that gushing blood just a moment ago? I sidestep to the right until my hands run up against some bars that stick out from the structure, and that's when it hits me. A freight car from the old train. Sure enough, the next thing my hands meet is empty space, as I come across what I remember to be the open door I had sat in earlier. I was out in the train yard. I almost laugh. Did my anxiety about finishing the project cause me to sleepwalk all the way back out here? At least now I know exactly where I am. I rest my hands on the edge of the car, breathing in the musty air inside. There's a hint of something sweet and sick on top of it, and it crosses my mind that anything could have crawled inside and died. I quickly move away from the car. Do dead bodies smell sweet? I remember a quote something like that, but I have not been around a dead body long enough to tell where it was sweet, or if it decomposed a little bit sweet. I don't know. Turn my body in the direction I know of Leo's house is in. I start walking again, pouring through the recent memories to see if I could somehow remember how the hell I got here. Also, I would think that dead bodies smell bad, you know? I remember Leo coming back into the bedroom, putting his arm around me, then nothing. He drugged me. I definitely fell asleep. Sleepwalking is the only answer. The sound of rustling behind me makes me jump, but I keep moving forward, not wanting some tiny creature in the grass getting me spooked. Squint ahead me. I see no lights yet, which is strange because I know Echo should have been at least a few lights on. Should have at least a few lights on. Street lights, at least. Also, I did look or ask on Discord finally. Yeah, the town of Echo in this game is like 65 people, like less than 100. It's like, wow, that is a fucking small town. Like, let me just look up a thing that I already looked up at some point. It's a town that was close to us. You had 470 people. I mean, that just seemed like someplace you just ran right through. Basically what I would think Echo would look like. Then I couldn't think of it being like 60 something. But it's also I guess in the smoke room it's had a population of a couple thousand or 1,000, which is quite a bit. A loud metallic clang fills the air, and this time I do whirl around. Hello? Voice is so scratchy from waking up, and I cough to clear it. Hello? The loudness of my voice actually startles me, but the response is silence. Did a bird hit it? Maybe I knocked something loose when I was feeling around. I'm definitely not going back to check, though, so I quicken my pace and start moving again. That's when I hear more shifting sound in the car, like something is rolling around inside. Probably Clint. I stop walking again and hold still, perking my ears as I try to hold my breath, heart pounding. This time, I don't call out, instead just listen. I swallow, and it's so loud I almost jump at the sound. But again, the sound stops completely. I wait a little while longer before I start moving again, this time at a slight jog. A crazy thought enters my mind, where I think maybe Leo and I got really drunk and maybe we both came out here and blacked out. Good thing, as far as I remember, or no, I've never gone drunk and left places. I've always woken up in my bed or in my room, sometimes on the floor, but still. Don't drink, kids. And that Leo is in the train car right now, hungover and rolling around. It's in the middle of that thought, though, that the sound starts up again. It's louder, this time, and ends with it cutting off for a split second before hitting something heavy thuds to the dead vegetation below. I stop again, but this time it's so that whatever it is doesn't hear me, knowing that if I keep walking, the heavy crunches of my footsteps will allow for it to pinpoint me immediately. My throat is completely dry. A new thought enters my mind. Could be Clint. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he comes out here to sleep in the train cars. That would totally be something that he'd do. While it does ease my worries a little bit, I'm not fully relaxed because I know the dumb fuck has a gun. I also know he wouldn't hesitate to shoot at something if it startled him. So I crouch down low, waiting, listening, and I'm pretty sure I can hear breathing, ragged, wheezy breathing that definitely sounds like Clint. I gather up some spin in my mouth so my tongue doesn't stick to the roof of it and take a small breath. Hey, Clint? I say it gently, quietly, but I'm sure he can hear me. I get some more silence in return, but I also get the distinct feeling that he's listening back. I try again. It's me, There's an explosion of energy and a sound in front of me, but it's not a gunshot. Instead, it's a sense of forward momentum that I can physically feel, that whatever it is in front of me is lunging forward at me. Two loud thuds, one following the other, in less than half a second, followed by an explosive, dragging sound. The cycle repeats the second it ends. Whatever it is, sounds desperate, almost manic, but I don't stick around to find out, because before I know it, my legs are carrying me through the clearing as fast as I can. All thoughts of what it could be are gone from my mind, as I dodge into the trees and bushes to my right, knowing that if I can break through the other side, I'll be right in front of Leo's house. Behind me, though, is moving impossibly fast. Already, it sounds like the distance between me and it has been cut in half, and as I'm struggling between branches and sagebrush, I hear it break into the bush with me. I gasp as full-on panic sets in. Leo! Leo! I scream as loud as I can, knowing that he should be able to hear me, also knowing that he sleeps like a rock. The thing behind me seems to double its efforts at the sound of my voice, and the cycle of its movement increased. It now has the momentum of a gallop. My breaths are coming in panic gasps, and now I know I'm not going to make it because it's only 3 feet behind me. As if the window opens up in the back of my mind, I see it. 2 clawed hands outstretched towards me. My face flashes past too fast for me to make out a face, but I manage to see a lipless tooth. and then it slams into my back and crushes me into the ground against sharp branches and rocks. I gasp as the air is crushed out of me, but before I can suck it back in, those hands wrap around my neck. I struggle and pull, but it's like I'm an ant under a foot. I'm so thoroughly pinned that I can't even budge an inch. There's a hissing sound behind my head, and I feel dripping against the back of my neck. Tears squeeze out of my eyes as I try to reach forward, but it's like I'm paralyzed. Paralyzed. I yanked back, suddenly my face coming out of something soft and white. A pillow. Chase, you okay? Leo's husky voice whispers in my ear as I take in a huge gasp of air. Whoa, I can't breathe? I cough and gasp, my face wet from tears as I sit in the bed, looking around. Oh, baby, it's okay. Leo draws me into a warm hug, and I take it limply, my mind only now catching up. I cough a few more times. Sorry, paralysis. Couldn't move. Leo rocks me a few times, making shushing sounds. I remember you telling me about that. Good thing I was here to pull you out of your pillow. He nodded against his chest, realizing how dangerous it could have been if he hadn't been there. I usually came out of paralysis in under a minute, but sometimes. I shudder and pull back out the hug, wiping my face. What did you dream about? I try to think back, but the dream is fleeing my mind as fast as whatever it was that was chasing me. What was chasing me? I can't remember. Leo rubs my shoulder and looks at my face. It's dark, but I can see the white in his eye patches, giving him almost a ghostly appearance. You want to stay up? I can make you tea or something? The adrenaline is already leaving me to be replaced by fatigue. Ooh. But the offer sounds nice. Sure. Alright, want to come with me? Pause, then shake my head, want to collect myself for a moment. Nah, no. Just give me a second. Alright. Leo leans forward and kisses me on the forehead before leaving me alone in the dark room. I lay back down on my side, trying again to remember what I had dreamt about. I was in the woods, or something and something was after me. That's about all I can recall. The warmth Leo left in the bed quickly has me drowsy again. I'm about to drift off when something pokes me in the foot. I try to ignore it, but the thought of an insect of some kind has me reaching down to feel it. It's hard and cranky, whatever it is, and when I pull it up, I find a dead leaf. Frowning, I pull back the sheets, and there, clinging to the fabric and the fur on my feet, is dirt and leaves. Maybe not a dream? Leo wakes me up early the next day, telling me he had to settle some stuff with his dad at the shop. I don't get much of a chance to ask why, or for how long he's been out the door, yelling something about food in the fridge. I immediately fall back asleep, though, and when I open my eyes again, it's 2 hours later. Leo texted me about half an hour ago. Still at Pop Shop, but be back soon, I think. I swallow back down the lump of dread in my throat as I remember the text messages. I didn't want to confront him, not one bit, but I can't just let it sit. Something has to be said before I leave. I lay around for another 20 minutes before I grab my phone to browse a bit. That's when I realize I hadn't charged it since last night. My battery is at 25%. I almost never would do that. I groan and throw an arm over my eyes. One day left to do the project. I'm so far behind, though that I'm not even feeling any anxiety about it at this point. Just resigned. I should have known better, really, that I wasn't gonna get anything done with Leo around. I stared at the wall for a while longer before I forced myself to sit up. No use lying around. I might not be making my best project, but it didn't mean I couldn't do a few things to make it less terrible. Food momentarily crossed my mind, but I shrugged it off. I never been a breakfast person anyway. Me, always 2 granola bars, 2 cups of coffee, or mugs. Unless I'm, working, then it's whatever is the food they give us, plus 2 mugs of coffee. As soon as I leave the house, I notice things are a bit off. Firstly, it's dead quiet. Usually, there's some kind of drone. Whether it's the wind or a plane overhead, there's usually something. No sound of birds either, and those were always chirping in the morning. I stand in the doorway for a bit, feeling a vague sense of tension, electricity in the air. Something building. I shook my head, feeling dizzy. The dream last night had fucked me up in all kinds of ways, so it's not surprising that it's probably still messing with me. I'll be glad to be gone from this place tomorrow. Something wrestling next door draws my attention, and I see Kudzu, carrying a set of clippers, walking across his front yard. I open my mouth to say hi, but I hold back, feeling self-conscious. His brooding nature was a bit intimidating, and I don't know if he's the kind of person who expects a greeting or not. Is this supposed to be I know this is supposed to represent Leo's place, but I'm not sure if it is Leo's place. Like if this is representative of it. I'm not left to wonder long, though, because he spots me and almost immediately raises a hand. Morning. Oh, hey there. Grins before setting his attention on a bush in front of him, sizing it up. I stand there awkwardly for a bit longer, wondering if that's the end of our exchange, but he speaks up again. Me, I don't really talk to people, because it's like, do you just say morning and move on, or does that initiating a conversation where you just kind of stuck there, or whatever? Guys, I do kind of have a bit of social anxiety, which is funny because I have a YouTube channel. But I guess, since I don't really have to exchange with anybody right now, then it's quite a bit easier. Leo take off? He nods his head at an empty driveway. Oh yeah, earlier this morning. I walk down from the porch and walk over to the edge of Leo's lawn so it doesn't feel like we're yelling at each other. Said something about having to take care of business with his dad. I see. Leo stops trimming and looks at me before smiling. You can come on my lawn. It's not like I have an electric fence or anything. Look down to see that I'm towing on the edge of his immaculate lawn on Leo's side, looking like a little kid. I blushed before stepping over to crunch along the tan-colored gravel he had set out. Good on him for being environmentally, good. Because it does kind of bug me. Maybe not naturally, but when I actually think about it, how it's like, okay, we're people. Gonna go to a desert, place where it doesn't rain a lot. Going to drill wells so we can get this very precious limited thing called water. And, since you drain it, it goes down. But we're going to spend a lot of it on green grass and lawns in the middle of a desert. It's like, really? So not only do you have to put in even more water because it probably evaporates, but you have to water almost every day because of stuff. It's like, but if you have gravel, you don't gotta do that shit. It's rocks. It's weird how nice it all is, especially compared to the shitty trailer sitting in the middle of it all. If he had an abode-styled house, the place would be southwestern perfection. This all looks really nice. I guess gardening is your hobby? Thanks. Kudzu snips into the bush rather aggressively. I like it. It's what I do most of the day. Raccoon moves to the edge of the bush, examining it. It's peaceful. One thing I probably should get, because I think about it, is getting one of those little kind of bonsai trees. Like, I do have a couple of plants, but again, they're kind of, since they're indoor plants, they're mostly self-sufficient. You just water them every now and then. Killed so many of them because I was basically being a helicopter parent, being like, water, 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 and then come to figure out that, yeah, you water them once a week, once every 2 weeks. Not a lot anyways, just a little bit. He gives me a bush. He gives the bush another snip before resting a hand on his hip while he lets the clippers dangle in the other. And it keeps you in shape. Can't argue with that. Though he's skinny, the muscles showed through the fur in his arms. He's probably the most in-shape guy I've seen in Echo. I realize I'm staring and quickly snap my eyes back to his, but he's already smirking. I worry he's about to point out that he's caught me, but instead he gestures at the camera bag in his clippers. Gonna do something for your project? Yeah, I need to get a bit more film before I leave tomorrow. The slender raccoon wipes his forehead with a forearm. Anything in particular? I think. Not really. Just old stuff to show the town's age. Kaiju sticks his clippers in the ground, looking up as if he seems to think. I mean, guess the school would be one of the things. Apparently that mall we went to wasn't in Echo, it was in like Peyton or something, which makes sense now. I know of a few things. You go to the old school? Yeah, was headed there actually. And then there's the ruins next to the lake. Yeah, was gonna wait for Leo to drive me there later today. Other than that, there's an old rusted pump up the road, but I don't know if that's actually from Echo's earlier days. Kinda hurt to look. Where is it exactly? Kaji pointed over his shoulder up the road. Down past Duke's house, right before the convenience store. It's kinda hidden, back in some brush, but I can take you there. Oh, if it's no trouble. It's fine. I've got plenty of time to do this today. Well, alright. Thanks. I shift the bag on my shoulder and stand to the side as Kudzu tosses the clippers beside the bush, then starts walking towards the road. Time. Ooh. Yeah, I guess we'll call it. Because it is kind of a scene change, I guess. Ooh, woof. Well, end of this Let's Play. So please comment, guys, like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, always. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the others to help it grow. And please remember to spend your animals to help control the pet population. Grow. And until next time, Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Whoa. So thanks. Oh yeah, and if you want to play this game for any child, start with the people that make it. You know, they're made it. Go to their Patreon, $3 a month. So, thanks and see ya. Spay your animals.